Today's video is about how to make your investment decisions, and I see too many people making their investment decisions based on media headlines, because that's all people normally get. A lot of people don't have experts or don't have any expertise, so they go into the media and they believe they can trust the media and what it's saying. What I can say though is that a lot of the stuff that you got in the media is just clickbait and it's noise. I want to give you an example of one such news article that totally misleads people, actually puts you in a state of fear and holds you back from doing the positive thing, which is actually to get into the property market. Just think about this. Would you have loved to have gotten to the market 30 years ago, 20 years ago, 10 years ago? Yes, because of the way the economy is structured, the property market is just going to continue to march on, and you want to be in the market, but articles like the one I'm about to share have the ability to actually hold you back, set you back, and make wrong decisions. Now, this article actually comes from news.com.au. I mean, this is a site that I do generally love to get a lot of my news from, but take a look at this headline, for example. It says, worst case scenario, fears house prices could plunge by 43.5%. Now, if all you did was read that headline together with other negative headlines and you were thinking about investing, that may have the impact of actually holding you back without actually looking into it any further than that. Now, I want to explain to you why the market can never drop that much. I explain it best in one of my property unpacks that I do for my members. So I'm going to click to that content right now for a few moments. Enjoy that content. Why the market can never crash. And you got to look out for people that are on YouTube. They go down these incredible conspiracy theory rabbit holes about the Illuminati and what's going on in the world and the Great Reset. And guys, I just want to give you some basic simple math. What people don't understand is the residential real estate in Australia, the value is 9.8 trillion. This is way bigger than superannuation, 3.4, way bigger than Aussie stocks, way bigger than commercial real estate. 9.8 trillion. Now the debt on that 9.8 trillion of property is just 2.1 trillion. This is a debt to value ratio of just 21%. Let me put this in layman's terms. Imagine you owned a $1 million property in Sydney and your mortgage was just 200 grand. You're sleeping like a baby every single night. You've got $800,000 of equity. And this is exactly the position that Australian property is in right now. People say there's going to be a crash. Why is there going to be a crash? Basically, 90% of homeowners, no matter what's happening with property prices up and down every month, the different seasonalities, the different media headlines, Ukraine, war, inflation, different things going on, unemployment up and down, 90% of homeowners don't need to sell their property. The only way you can have a market crash is if 30, 40, 50% of homeowners suddenly need to sell their property at a 20 to 30% discount. And with 3.5% unemployment, everyone very employed, we've got strong wage growth right now, and Australia having a bulletproof economy, no homeowner, almost none, only those that have bought maybe in the last 1 or 2 years that overstretched themselves, we're talking 1, 2, or 3% of homeowners, only they may be pushed to sell their property. But this is not enough volume to crash the market. And also what you must remember is the Australian government, the RBA and the banks will protect property at all costs. Now, people said, what will happen in the worst case scenario? The worst case scenario, guys, was 2020. Now in 2020, with all that uncertainty, what did the government do? They said, no one has to pay their loan back. Let's protect the market. Let's put the home loan repayments on a holiday. No one had to do anything there. So guys, you must understand that the government, the banks, the RBA, even though the RBA right now are rising interest rates, they will not do it to the point to crash the property market. No one wins in that situation, so it's never going to happen. And even if there were some extreme shocks happening in the world, I don't know, aliens come from outer space or something like that, guys, 9.8 trillion, only 2.1 trillion, 21% debt to value ratio. The vast majority of homeowners do not need to sell, will not sell. Now, a lot of people think that rising interest rates crash the property market. They do not. Take a look at these historical numbers. In 1970, believe it or not, the average Sydney property was just 18 grand. At that time, interest rates were 5.8%. Now, by 1980, property prices had gone from 18 grand to almost 80 grand. And interest rates over that time rose from 5.8% to 9.1%. Interest rates almost doubled from 1970 to 1980, but property prices increased 5 times. Because people think that just because rates are going up, that somehow the market's going to crash. This is statistically and historically incorrect. Now, things for interest rates got worse. So take a look at this. At 1980 to 1990, interest rate went from 9.1% to 17%. So guys, in 1980 to 1990, inflation got way out of control. Wages were growing way out of control. So what they did is they pumped the interest rates from 9.1 to 17%. That got inflation under control, but it had the effect of taking property prices from 18,000 to 180,000, 10 times in value in 20 years. This is what is going on now. Inflation is the key driver of all the property price growth in the next 10 to 15 years. It's even happened in recent memory. In 2000, the interest rates were 6.8%. They jumped to 9.3%, but property prices doubled over that time. So guys, you must understand that where we are now, 2022, think forward to 2032, property prices are going to double again because of all of these forces. Here's another article, and this time I've got an article from The Guardian. Now, this is actually a much more subtle headline. Remember, the headline is to attract you so that you click it, so that you read the article. They've got all their advertising space there. That's their aim. But look at the subtle way that they're adding to the negativity about investing. And the headline actually says, "What 1 million buys you? House hunting in today's uncertain property market." So again, this is more negativity. It can give you the feeling, not the facts, not the logic, but the feeling that now is a bit of a bad time to actually make an investment decision. The key lesson here is you want experts that are deep into the market. You do not want to make your investment decisions based on news, media, headlines. That's a recipe for failure. So if you enjoyed this content, if it helped you in any way, please like the video and also subscribe to my channel. You're going to see a ton of new content hitting the channel over the next few weeks, and I promise you it's going to be content that will change your life and help you on your investment and wealth creation journey.